Welcome to Podtendo's Top 10 list. Listen to the show, we'll explain it. I can't explain it during the opening. Enjoy! Hi guys, welcome to the Podtendo podcast, where we're finishing our top 10 lists, the project we've been working on all year. Oh baby, I think we finally got to the end. I've got the official list up. I'm going to do a count just so I'm not forgetting something, because it would be really silly if we got to the end of this and we only got 9. Right, so top 10. We did NES games, guys. Wait, maybe I'll introduce us first so we can kind of talk. I'm your co-host, Mick, and I'm joined by
Tyson.
Awesome. Are you excited to be done doing these top 10 lists?
Yeah, I mean, they were fun exercise, but they definitely, by the end of it, we were like, man, I feel like I've made this list a couple times now, because we've kind of hit multiple consoles. This is the big wrap up. But yeah, no, it was fun. Did you have fun?
I did, yes. No, it was a good detour just from what we've done in the past, so a little less intensive than, say, like watching movies, right? Even though it's not super tenuous. It's still, I put together notes, and there's a format, and we kind of have to do this, and you have to be tentative versus, top 10 lists are kind of just, how are you feeling? How do you like? They're based on your own opinions, right? And we've gone through, somewhat receptive. But yes, I'm glad that they're done. And I, in fact, like them so much, I would easily do them again next year if I knew we weren't doing at least one Zelda retrospective plus something else. I'm not really sure what the other projects are. Maybe we'll do one or two other kind of little mini retrospectives on some like other games or something. Do a couple parts on the side. Oh, that sounds... Look what we're doing to ourselves already next year. That's no good. But I would easily do a couple of these in the future, right? So very, very easy to make. So
we're gonna do a 12-part retrospective on Banjo-Tooie.
Well, Twilight Princess is probably coming in January, right?
Yep.
So that's a big one, and that's just kind of, is there another game that's worthwhile of a retrospective, right? So that's stuff to think about, stuff to look at. Let's see. So top 10 lists. So we did NES, Super Nintendo, comic book characters, N64 games. We got PlayStation 1/Xbox games, even though they were different generations. I think it still worked. Saturday morning cartoons, GameCube games, top 10 Simpsons characters, top movies, and if I was counting along, I have 9 fingers down. That means the last one is the one we're looking at today, and that is our top 10 favorite video games. They could just be current, they could be of all time. We're not entirely sure until we get into it today. And yeah, like we said, this is kind of the big culmination. This is a video game show. Lots of times in our side topics, our little side parts, we talk about stuff that isn't video game related. And in the guise of Podtendo, normally we look at Nintendo games specifically. But this is kind of now every video game. We obviously put out other stuff that's not just Nintendo games, although it just follows me around. I'd love to get away from Nintendo at some point, and then I spend $1,000 so I can play Donkey Kong. Yeah, all right, let's go Donkey Kong.
Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, Donkey Kong Bonanza, or my personal favorite, Donkey Kong Congos.
Well, yeah, I mean, if it was Congo Blast, like that'd be the best game. Donkey Kong Bonanza is actually a phenomenal game. So no shade. And Mario Kart.
Yeah, I've heard that.
The free roam mode is just like the most satisfying thing. I didn't know I wanted a Grand Theft Auto style world to drive around in. My little cow guy, but I did. I really did. It's nice.
See, I just wanted it to be Donkey. I wanted there to be more. I wanted like a story. I wanted things to explore. Oh, yeah. I wanted to discover. I wanted Diddy Kong Racing. That's what I wanted.
Oh, I see, an actual like story mode. Yeah, that's fair. I think it'd be better to play in like large groups and stuff, especially like the knockout stages. I just feel like knockout is probably much better than Grand Prix.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. Well, don't worry if you haven't got your kart racing game fix. There's literally a Kirby one right around the corner.
I did see that.
Because apparently that's all we're releasing these days.
No, what do you mean? We get to play, you got your pre-orders in for Mario Galaxy 1 and 2?
No.
Yeah, I did. It's like...
I was going to say, do I not already own these games? The collection?
You would have Galaxy, but not Galaxy 2. But I hear,
Oh,
I
jeez.
think Galaxy 2 is the not as good one. Well, maybe the level design is okay. Anyways, we'll get to it at some point. So first, we have another Mario game to cover this year. Look at all these teases for stuff coming up. Wow, look at us. All right, so let's get into this last game. And on the plus side, after this, scary spooky month. So we get at least 3 Halloween specials. I know we're playing 2 scary games this year and then a Halloween special. So I was just looking, it's all kind of like back-to-back sequential Fridays. So the end of the month, be kind of busy. I'm not traveling internationally, so I won't forget to upload anything on Halloween and then spend my whole time in Japan being like, oh, can Tyson just drive to my house and upload Alien 3? I feel like the fact Alien 3 hasn't been uploaded is really wrecking my trip.
Well, I probably need to make a trip to Calgary anyways, so.
Well, won't forget this year. So, cool. But from there, yeah, we're getting into our top 10 video games. Favorite video games, guys. We're going to spend a little bit of time. We'll talk about them the second time they appear on one of our lists. So any of our repeats or our doubles. The first time we mentioned, we're just going to kind of pass until it comes up on the next person's list. We'll go 10 to 1 because otherwise would be nonsense. We'll start at the bottom of both our lists. And Tyson, what is your top 10 or your 10th favorite game?
I got The Witcher 3.
All right.
It's not on your list, so we'll talk about it.
Okay.
I really like the Witcher series. Witcher 3 kind of really sank its teeth into me. I loved it a lot. I bought it multiple times on multiple different systems. Seemed to do that a lot with the CD Projekt Red's games.
Okay.
This was the game that like I remember it coming out and I wanted to play it on my PC. So the day it came out, I also ran out and brought a new graphics card because I need a new graphics card to play it.
Yeah.
Because I needed to see that those hair physics. So and I've replayed this a couple times. I really like it. I think like it's cool. Playing the game made me get into like the books, and then like the Netflix show came out, and season 1 was very good. The rest of it was kind of meh. But yeah, like I love the Witcher series. I think it's really, really cool. I love the world that they build. The books are really interesting. But it's one of those games where I'm like, this was, I think, the start of like open world games done right.
Okay.
In my eyes. Like there was constant stuff to do. There was fun little like Gwent, the little card game was always entertaining. Each battle you had to kind of like be strategic about how you approach things. So sometimes you need to like buff yourself. Because I remember like first time I played it, I just like didn't know how to do that, and I got like stuck with a bunch of werewolves, and I was like, how do I beat this? And they're like, you need to craft actual like buff potions. I forget what they're called, but did that, and then like you actually defeat it, and you're like, man, this game is like just so good. Cool world, always stuff to explore.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think I spent more time just like cruising around with Roach, just discovering any old thing, murdering any monsters that I see, saving people as you kind of come across them. Great cinematics, cool characters, great world, fun gameplay, great game.
Awesome.
That's why it's my number 10.
Yeah, I know it's a very popular series with the novels and the games and the TV series. It's very well regarded. 2015 it came out, so 10 years old, Witcher 3. I can't. Tyson says, open world gameplay done right. I can't refute that. I don't know enough about specifically games that came out kind of in that like 2010s to kind of say like, oh no, actually the example you are here, my history doesn't go that far back, so I'll just leave that point. But no, I know it's a very popular acclaimed game series. It's got tons of DLCs. It's kind of one of those ones that's come back and released. I get it. Yeah, fantasy is big. There's a reason that I think Skyrim's stuck around now for 12 years, 13 years, and they're still like releasing it. And like, you can get Skyrim on the Switch too. And people are like, yeah, all right, let's get some. Let's buy it. I know I got it on, right? It's just one of those games that kind of lives in our world.
I know I got it on like the PS3 and the PS4 and PS5 and Xbox Series X and the PC and the Switch 1 and now the Switch 2. It's like,
and
God, they just make this game, just pump it out.
And we have in the last 25 years, right? The last quarter century, we've just kind of had fantasy thrown at our feet between the Lord of the Rings and like the Harry Potters in the world, right? And you see the prevalence of the Skyrims and the Witcher 3s. Game of Thrones, right? All these big series of people come out and just kind of love these medieval worlds. So if you can create a rich diverse, interesting experience for people to kind of get back into. Totally understand, totally see why it's popular. It is. I haven't got into it. I've never played The Witcher, so I can't speak to it at all.
That's fair. That's fair. What's your number 10?
Number 10, I have a game that I like in terms of for narrative reasons. So I think it's one of the stronger video game narratives, one of the more interesting, unique, challenging narratives, right, that I've experienced in the last little while, and that is The Last of Us 2. So The Last of Us was a series that probably came out, what's that, must be 10 years ago. People were blown away, right? The depth, the storytelling of the Joel and Ellie relationship that kind of grows. I know people just like fell in love with this game. They thought it was awesome. Couldn't get enough of those clickers, those crazy funguses, guys. The Last of Us 2 came out, I want to say, before COVID. So it was definitely one of those games that we kind of all played and like talked about during lockdown. At least that's, I think, when I got my teeth into it a little bit, was during one of the lockdowns and sat and played it, and was just enthralled with how the narrative develops and changes and how they really play around with the medium, right? And I think this is really good, or an example of excellent video game narrating or narration. You are these characters. You getting to play as a Joel and Ellie. You develop emotional bonds, right? And when they put you in these high tension, these high emotion atmospheres, it's interesting, right? When they make you do tough choices, when they make you act a certain way, you know, when you get to choose to act a certain way. And I think The Last of Us 2, without kind of spoiling it too heavily, although if you watch the TV series, it was kind of spoiled. And I think my biggest criticism of The Last of Us 2, the TV series, like season 2, was just the way they told the story and the order that they told the story kind of destroys a lot of the emotional weight and challenging, or the narrative is quite challenging, right? Essentially, you play the villain. You have to kind of learn to be the villain and care for the villain. And all of a sudden, you're like, oh, do I like the villain? Wait, was the villain not the villain all along? Did I start out as the bad guy? What the hell happened? You know, like it kind of does change, and it kind of flip flops, and I really like and respect it for that. They didn't just go the easy route. They didn't just give you take it the easy way. Now everyone was alive at the end. We all lived happily ever after, right? No, shit happens, right? Life's tough. Choices are difficult, right? You have to grow. The trauma happens. It affects us. It changes us, right? All those things kind of get dealt with in The Last of Us 2. And for that's just one of those games that stayed with me, right? I know there was discourse, people hated it, and there was lots of incels coming after this game. Oh, it sucks, I hate it, it's terrible, they killed Joel. Yeah, but that's kind of what makes The Last of Us interesting, right? It's a tragic story. It's tragedy. It's not a everyone lives happily ever after type story, right? So The Last of Us 2 is why it's the number 10 game just on my list.
That's fair. I don't really have a lot of positives to say about that franchise, but I'll just move on to my number 9. Sure. Unless you have anything more to say.
No, you can keep your incel comments to yourself. So
no, I hate in stories when the character kills through hordes and hordes of characters, and then they get to the main villain. And instead of taking the revenge, they stop at that point and they say, "No, now I'm no longer. This wouldn't solve anything." And I hate that. Like, I get it in the context of, like, let's say Batman. So Batman would never kill the Joker because he has a moral obligation. Mm-hmm. But if your character was literally just murdering, like, I don't know, like hundreds of people, and then they get to the villain that they actually have the beef with, and then they're like, "No, killing you would be wrong." And you're like, what the fuck just happened? Like, did your brain fall out of your skull? Like, what the fuck just happened?
Oh, if you're talking about just the ending, I think that's like the part, though. I think it's the revenge.
Yeah,
it's
but like, okay, then
an eye for an eye leaves the world
then
blind.
You can go through, like, but you literally just killed like a bunch of people leading up to that point.
Well, yeah.
And then you get to, like, the villain, and for narrative purposes, the writers say, "No, now they had a change of heart." And you're like, okay, no, you do this correctly. If they're going to have a change of heart, they stop killing people a while ago, like, and then they start, Like you could have done non-lethal takedowns
Yeah.
leading up to Abby and then done it that way, but no, you didn't. You killed people leading up to her, and then you get to Abby and you're like, no, now I'm not going to kill you. It's like, what the fuck just happened? And it's poor writing. I hate it when they do that in any story.
Are
it's
you
just like you get to the villain and you say, and it's not just a Last of Us problem. It's any story that does this terrible cliche where they're like, they get to the main villain after just killing a bunch of people and they say, no, killing you would be wrong. And you're like, maybe have that revelation like before you killed all those henchmen. No, we're not going to. Okay. It's just a plot convenience and it pisses me off.
Yeah, but I think in The Last of Us You Wanted, you could do a no death. Like, I think you can do lots of sneaking. Like, I think combat is just one of the elements. I think there is still stealth. And some of the areas are achievable to beat probably, like, with no killing, right? So you could do, like, a pacifist run. It's just kind of the, you know, it's the not Deltarune. What's it called? The little guys, the black and white. It's supposed to be, like, Earthbound.
Oh,
what the hell's that game called? It's an RPG. Everyone loves it.
It's
they literally have like a pacifist. Delta. It's the sequel of Deltarune.
Yeah.
What the hell's it called?
Yeah.
It's that game, right? Like you can play it different ways and it changes the narrative. And literally the game is like, oh, you killed everyone? Oh, you're bad. Or you could not kill everyone, and you're like, yeah, I'm glad you didn't kill all our friends. And you're like, oh shit, I had a choice, huh? Right. So you do have some freedom. And I think The Last of Us 2...
Undertale.
God damn, that was... Oof. All right. And you know video games. We know video games, eh? We're making a list, me and Critical. We don't know Undertale? Yeah. All right. Well, we got to get good, I guess, and keep going with this list. Let's leave The Last of Us 2 at the bottom and move on to your number 9. What do you have at number 9?
I got Resident Evil 4.
Solid, yeah.
Excellent game. I think it like did kind of break the back of the Resident Evil franchise because they were like, but it's actiony and everybody liked it. Can't every game be like this? And then Chris is punching boulders. Yeah. But this is done right. It's creepy. The remake's fantastic. I know. I'm currently playing through it. I'm sure Mick is too. It's a really good time. I think it's creepy. It's fun. I like the characters. I like the world. I like where they take the like Los Plagas virus strain. It's gameplay wise, it's awesome. Narrative wise, it's cool. Like, love the world, love the characters. It's a lot of fun. I have a blast with this game. I remember playing it. This is one of the games I actually had on the GameCube, and I left it in at university. I brought my GameCube over because me and my buddy were big into like Smash Bros. Melee. We were really big into it. So I just like left it at his house because I would just like go over there and play it. So I just brought all of my games there and just like left them there. And I like come over to his house on like a Friday or whatever. And he's just like sitting on the couch with a bunch of pizza boxes. And I'm like, sup, man? Like, what's going on? He's like, sorry, I'm playing Resident Evil 4. I've almost beat the game. And it's like, dude, have you been to classes this week? No, I've been sick. So we just sat at home playing all of Resident Evil 4. And he wasn't even really he's not even a super big gamer. No. Nice. But he just like played that game, got immediately hooked. And I was like, did you play my file? He's like, no, I wanted to get the whole story. Yours wasn't like, it was pretty far into it, but it like, I didn't want to play your file, and I needed to know what happened before all this stuff led up. I played it for like an hour, and then I just put it down, and then I just like started my own file, and I was like, cool, man. He's like, yeah, I went and bought my own, like, he didn't own a GameCube, but he went out and bought a GameCube memory card so he could save it and have his own file.
Nice.
And I was like, damn, man. Like, I'm like, this game has like, it can get your hooks into you. And just like replaying it again after all these years, it's like so good. Just an absolute great game.
Yeah. And not to spoil anything that's coming in October on Podtendo, but if you're following along, we have played the first 3 REs. So be interested to play the 4th one this year. Wink! So that being said, I'll be brief in my description. It is the modern action game. Capcom threw out this bad boy as a part of an exclusive deal on the GameCube back in the 2000s to release all the REs on the GameCube, and we're like, oh, cool. But essentially it was such a popular game, and they did such an excellent job with it that they pretty quickly started pushing it out on the PS2, even though I'm pretty sure there was an exclusive deal, but they were like, we'll break this deal and pay some fines. It's going to be such a moneymaker to get it elsewhere, right? So they got it out to the other consoles. It's been released probably on every console since the PS2, right? Like I'm sure there's a PS3 remaster, and I know I have it on the PS4, and definitely have it on my PS5, right? So it's just one of those games that's kind of followed along, and it is modern action gaming done right. Every game that came out after this, basically, it was just a copycat of the RE4 engine. They discovered something, they put together. We'll talk about it a little bit more coming up shortly in the next few months. But essentially, they created how third-person action games work, and to set it in this kind of cool, down to earth. It's really not the word I wanted to use there. Cool Capcom RE universe. I think works really well. Plays really well, and yeah, great, awesome game. It was almost on my list. I got pushed for a different entry, so we'll get to that when it gets there. On to my number 9. We're going to go with Pokemon Gold and Silver. So way back, I think it technically is a Game Boy Color game, but it works on your original Game Boy. So because Nintendo was nice at one point, they're like, well, we don't want people to have to buy new games and new systems and stuff to play this game. That's not the world we want to live in. Sure thing, Nintendo. Sure thing. So Pokemon Gold and Silver Gen 2 came out way back in 2000? Maybe 99? Late 99, 2000? And was just I don't know, I think it's maybe the perfect version of Pokemon. If I was to play a game, only could play one, I think it's got kind of the perfect mix of new gen, classic gen. It's not overly complicated. Pokemon look like Pokemon. They just haven't given up and started like making keys and ice cream cones into Pokemon. There was actual kind of thoughts and maybe some direction and like a theme that kind of went with the area and the Pokemon that came out of it, right? Lots of fun history with the legendary dog trio. You get your Ho-Ohs, you get your Lugias. And then only that, but you get to revisit Kanto after the game. You beat the game and you're like, cool. And you go next door and you're like, holy shit, here's the first game. Oh, there's the guy from the first game. And he's still got his little Pikachu, right? Awesome, great, classic Pokemon series. It's one of those ones. I don't know if I'd say Pokemon's one of my favorite game franchises, but looking back, it just means so much. I spent so much time, so much of my life playing Pokemon games. And this was, I think, definitely the highlight. And probably one of the reasons I didn't get into other games, because I don't know if any of the later entries beat Gold and Silver. They don't ever push the formula. They just reuse the formula that Gold and Silver kind of introduced. And, well, I guess the formula technically was in the first game and it was just defined in Gold and Silver. But for those reasons, that is why it's my 9th favorite game, Pokemon Gold and Silver.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't love some Pokemon? Even if it's not your favorite franchise. Like, I mean, I'm kind of the same. Like, I don't know if it's one of my favorite franchises, but I definitely enjoy it every now and then. This was the last. Let me look at actually the Pokemon games in order.
Blue, red, then yellow came out, then gold and silver, then crystal, then ruby and sapphire, then emerald, then sapphire, and
so ruby, sapphire, then
crystal?
fire red, leaf green, emerald, and then it's diamond, pearl, platinum,
pearl.
And then black, white, X, Y, sun and moon, blah blah. This was the last games that I got big into, and I love gold. Gold was like my jam. Caught my Ho-Oh, had like I think it also just had like good Pokemons from start to finish.
Yeah.
And that's what my biggest quarrel with a lot of Pokemon games, especially modern ones. It's like, here's like 16 normal type Pokemon that kind of suck. It's like, I don't want these things. Give me good ones. Give me a ghost type. Give me something that I can like really enjoy. And Pokemon Gold, they were like, no. They this was before they kind of got to like the let's hold back all the good Pokemon until the last half of the playthrough, and you're like, don't do that. That's dumb. Give me the good Pokemon all the way throughout. That's the enjoyable thing. So in my mind, this was like peak Pokemon. I love Gold and Silver. And then when we got Heart Gold, Soul Silver, and like was it Fire Red, Leaf Green.
Mm-hmm.
Those are like definitive copies. I've played almost all the other Pokemon games, but they just don't get their. I just can't get addicted the same way I got addicted to this time.
Yeah.
And sure, it was probably just a point of like where I was in my life. We were going on road trips, had your Pokemon, like your Game Boy. You went on like lunch
You just
hours.
had more time to play it. You're playing in
Yeah.
the car, 100%. Now you're looking at your phone. You're doing this. You're not just picking up your Game Boy. Yeah, it's a different time of your life. And yeah, early game, having the ability to just capture rare Pokemon early areas. I don't think new Pokemon games do that. Like there is no, yeah, you're right, elite Pokemon. Like you're not going to find an end game Pokemon in the first 3 or 4 dungeons, it feels like. They always just try and like nerf it. Be like, you just have these stupid rats. We won't get the good ones till you get to this area. And I'm like, just give me all the good, like give me access.
And they have a 5% encounter rate.
Yeah, perfect.
Like,
That means I have to battle approximately 96 battles to find one. Okay,
Yeah.
well that's a big time investment into this game, right? I'm fine with that. If I want this Pokemon, I should go find it, right? But I don't know if new games do that, right? So, but no, I think
Yeah.
I agree. Pokemon
also being able to go back to Kanto. Like
Sure.
it felt like 2 games in one. Like even if as soon as you finished the game, you still had a whole other area to go explore.
and
It was like
there could be a very strong correlation to potentially. This was the last time I was of the age of a Game Boy of a 12 to 14-year-old boy that I was like, man, being a Pokemon trainer would be sweet. Versus after that, you're like, oh, I could drive. Okay, that defeats the purpose of walking everywhere. Cool. What do you have at number 8?
number 8. I got Halo 2.
Okay.
I think we talked about this not too long ago, but yes. I love me some Halo. It was one of the defining game franchises of my like childhood and life. I absolutely just like adore it. It really it got me into online gaming. It got me into first person shooters. And Halo 2 was just that game that showed me that like online gaming was a thing, and got me addicted to a lifelong hobby now. Because like I play a lot of, I play some like, I know there's some people out there who are just like hardcore, like they only play solo games, and then there's some people that only play like multiplayer games. I spend my time almost equally in both. Like, yeah, and I still do so. It's just that's just the way it's always been. And it all started with Halo 2 because like, yeah, the campaign was really good, but then there's the multiplayer and like figuring it out and cheesing stuff. Like I know there was a technique in Halo 2 where you'd kind of just like swipe the stick across somebody while you're pulling the trigger. And because it wasn't projectile based, it was hit marker based, because there's 2 different first person shooters. There's projectiles where it actually fires a bullet in game, and then it'll figure out like, okay, that you were in the line of sight when it crossed that path, you got hit. And then there was hit marker, where essentially as long as the reticle was over the person, it registers as a hit. There's like not really bullets in the game. So I think Halo 2 used hit markers, and what you could do when you were sniping, you just like swipe the stick across people, and it would just register as a headshot if you swiped across their head. And we abused the heck out of it. It was the best.
Cool.
And it just like, if people got mad about it, you just say like, well, just do it as well. It's like, I got the same tools you do. Don't complain about it. Just use it.
Get good, as they say.
That's
cool. Yeah, Halo 2,
that's what the kids
I
say.
never spent time with it. I was not an Xbox person. I played it a little bit when it first came out, and I can appreciate that, yeah, the online play was big. And anyone that obviously did play it around that time, right, early online play was probably big and probably would remember it. So, but I don't have those experiences, so it is not on my list. At number 8, though, I do have a game that comes... kind of, it's just like a genre in itself. So it's kind of the granddaddy of the Metroidvania series. I'm looking specifically at number 8 as Symphony of the Night and Super Metroid. I think they're kind of 2 pieces of the same puzzle. I'm just going to kind of roll with it because your 7 might technically jump in with this. So
yeah, well, let's mention it. My number 7, Symphony of the Night as well. So we might as well talk about it.
Perfect. So yeah, the 2 kind of granddaddies of locking keys. So not just traditional, hey, you're in a dungeon, there's a lock, go find a key, here's a door, use it, right? Less conceptual, or more conceptually, they were using like double jump as a key to get into certain areas, right? So you get to an area you couldn't jump up. How do I get there? They give you an ability to that unlocks that quote unquote key, or unlocks that quote unquote door, restricting your movement. And these are just both two perfect, clean examples that I've returned to time and time again, right? Super Metroid kind of mastered the formula. They kind of perfected it a little bit. And then a couple years later, Symphony Night took essentially what Metroid had done, threw it in the Castlevania world, threw in some RPG elements, and there you go. There's a genre. It was great. I remember finding this game early on the PlayStation, absolutely loving it, having a great time. Getting to play with friends afterwards, learning about Super Metroid, getting an opportunity to play that kind of a little bit later, and just phenomenal experiences top to bottom. Love them. Metroidvania is some of my favorite game series. I love the design, right? And it's kind of more of it's cleaner. Yeah, might be complicated. You may not know where to go, but if it's a good Metroidvania and they build levels that naturally take you through areas and show you upgrades and are rewarding and they're fun to explore, it's just one of the best experiences, right? And I just have to give credit to these two masterpieces, right? They were the first. We still talk about them. I still think they're some of the best in the genre. That's why Super Metroid and Symphony Night are at my number 8, and Tyson's, well, the Symphony Night, respectively. Why do you have Symphony Night at 7?
This game was a landmark in my life. Remember getting it. Soundtrack was just like hooking. I don't know what like Metroidvania was when we first played it. Obviously, we do now. I still kind of go back and replay this game just because it's got like good mechanics, good cool world to explore. I don't know if this was the game that kind of made me fall in love with like the ideas of like vampires and everything, but it was just so cool. Like you're so overpowered at the beginning, and then you come across death and he just takes away all your sweet gear, and you're like, man, I can't wait to get all that stuff back. And you just run around punching stuff for the first little bit, and then you get like some cool swords, and I didn't know what I was doing, so I think I was using like the red
Red Rust, sure.
Red Rust, that piece of crap. And it's just like, it's a lot of fun. Super addicting. You just want to like keep exploring, figure out what's around the next corner. And I think like Symphony of the Night does what a lot of other games don't do. And like it's memorable.
Yeah.
Where every almost tile of the game is like, you can almost you can have it in the back of your head. And I know like a lot of people complain like, or have a notebook next to them, when they're playing like modern Metroidvanias, even like good ones. They just like, I need to have like a notebook next to me, so I know when I go to this area, I'm supposed to do this thing, or if I'm going like, or I have this ability, now I can do that thing, so I got to run back to that room. The new Prince of Persia
but that's just
solved that one.
Yeah, I mean that's just
where they just added like a screenshot feature, so you can just like hover over the map and you can see exactly what you're looking for.
Okay.
But Symphony Night, you don't need anything like that. It's just memorable.
Yeah.
And you just like, okay, I need to go to the clock tower. Okay, go to the clock tower. Oh, okay, no, I need to go to the catacombs. I need to go to the chapel. It's like all these different areas were just like so ingrained in my brain. And I'm not really great at like ever memorizing maps, but I feel like Symphony of the Night, just like I could almost like draw it if I just sat down and
because it was fun, and fundamentally it was well designed, and it was an interesting world, and you wanted to explore, right? And they didn't make this tedious, challenging, not, and it's just one of those, that's game design. That's just the mark of good game design. Oh, it's memorable because you probably wanted to explore and you enjoyed exploring, and it was fun to get around, and traversal wasn't a chore. Well, you make those, you wreck one of those things, the game isn't as good, right? So no, it's excellent.
Yep. No, it's a amazing game. So
sweet. Then
what do you have at number 7?
That gets to my number 7. We were gonna look at is it the first remake? Yeah, my only remake. It is the remake. It is from early GameCube. We talked about it kind of earlier. There was a deal with Capcom and Nintendo to exclusively release some Resident Evil games on the GameCube, and one of the gems they cooked up was the titular RE remake. So the remake of the original game, they pumped up the quality of, and I still think it looks beautiful, right? Well, not beautiful. It looks pretty good, right? On the GameCube, they've done a couple remasters, right? You could probably play it on your PS5 today if you really wanted. I'm sure it's available. It is just an absolutely beautiful 3D. I was saying it was kind of like a horror Ocarina of Time, if you really think of it. It's a series of map and keys. Now, this is a bit more literally lock-in keys where you're literally getting a spade key and you have to go find the spade door, right? So it's a bit more direct. It's not like the items or the keys, I suppose, in the Metroid or the Metroidvania games. But I think in terms of just pure excellent gameplay, using the fixed camera angles to create a sense of horror, a sense of dread, to the inclusions of the re-deads, right? Here's these mindless zombies that you've kind of murdered. Hey, guess what? They're now going to be able to chase you and murder you and be one of the scariest things ever. Oh, great. Awesome. Can't wait. But they buffed up this classic mansion, this classic game, and I think they created one of the finest video game experiences ever. If you look back at our top 10, our tiers list, I think when we talked about this game, I was discussing it as just a landmark achievement, a masterpiece, and I think it still holds up, right? Going back and playing it at any time through the different scenarios with your Jill or your Chris, right? Trying to get through this game. Just as endlessly replayable. It's short, it's sweet, it's concise. The horror elements are done just expertly well, right? And for a game that's now getting close to 25 years old to just, I think, just kind of still have that standard quality. They didn't do the cheap jump scares where there's loud noises and something jumping in your face. It was thoughtful, methodical, and again, the level design, very quintessential to why this game was so good. The fixed camera angles. So the natural limitation of this game, they turned into one of its greatest strengths, its ability to restrict what you can see and makes it scary as F, right? And I love when games can kind of take those limitations and turn them into strengths, right? So often we're like, well, graphics and frame rate and stuff, but I'm like, man, if a game is good and the design is elite and they can, you know, the conveyance is there and you know where you're supposed to go and the world is interesting and it's fun, it doesn't matter. Like, honestly, graphics shouldn't matter in those experiences, but when your game starts to be poorly designed and it's not interesting, I think that's when you can kind of have those more, game kind of looks gross, I don't want to play it anymore, it's not keeping my interest. Sure, but RE Remake does not have that, and it's just a very, very clean, scary experience. So that's why it's my number 7.
Yeah, it's a great game. I say that I was like, this was kind of like Capcom going back, looking at, well, maybe we should remaster these older games. Took them a while, but I mean, they eventually did 2 and 3, which are fantastic. So now we have like these almost like definitive editions of these classic old games. They probably showed the gaming like industry to be like, oh, you can just remake these old games but just update the graphics, and people like lose their minds over it.
Well, and it's a formula they're following to this day, right? Like RE2 was remade a couple years ago, which I think is excellent, and the mechanic of Mr. X and the police station walking around chasing you, fucking terrifying. I was like, what a phenomenal game. RE3, they already dropped the ball. Like, you go back and play that one and I'm like, Nemesis just isn't scary. He's not as scary as Mr. X, right? It's more action-y. Oh, it's a run and gun and it's a shoot. In RE4, you're already into a different genre. They're almost not doing horror at any point. They're just in full-on, like, you're an action hero, jumping out windows, making quips about bingo, right? But it's just interesting that RE, even though it's there, you could go back to that first game and remake it. It's interesting they haven't done it, and they're not talking about it, and they just kind of respected it enough, right? They were like, look, we know it's almost 15 years old, this remake, but we think it's so elite, we don't know if we can beat it, right? We can't make it better. We changed the camera angles, we give you better controls. Well, the game's now broken, it's too easy, right? So them having restraint and not going back and remaking it, even though remaking is very, very, very easy nowadays, right? I don't know, it just says something about the quality of this first attempt at the game.
Yeah, no, it was excellent. It's a great game. Definitely deserves to be on a list.
Yeah, nice. Okay. Number 6. What do you got at number 6?
I got Final Fantasy 7, but that appears later on in the list on yours.
Yeah.
So what's your number 6?
Only a spot, so I'll just get through my number 6 and then we'll talk about it. So that's pretty fast. So Mega Man X / just the existence of Chargeman, who is my spirit animal, who's maybe my favorite video game character of all time. He's a train. He's awesome. His weapon kind of sucks, but like he's a train. What more do you want? He's great. Mega Man X though specifically is a action run and gun shoot platforming that is, I think, just one of the most elite 2D experiences you can have. You can fly through these worlds. You can find your collectibles. There's different paths. In terms of replayability, probably is low because I'm going to sit down and beat the whole game and then pick it up and beat it again a couple days later type thing, right? I'm not going to like get halfway through and stop because it is a shorter experience, right? It's only maybe 15 stages, and if you know what you're doing and you're good at the game, it goes pretty quickly. But I just can't get enough of Mega Man X. I think it's just the movement patterns, the just step into that 16-bit era was incredible, and I don't know if they've overpassed it yet, right? I think in terms of Mega Man games, it's probably the best Mega Man game, and I love Mega Man, so the best Mega Man game is one of my favorite games. So Mega Man X, that's why you're number 6 on my list.
Yeah, I mean, Mega Man games are classics. So it's very, very cool. Like, it's got to be on your list, especially since you're such a fan for it.
Sweet, cool. Anything to add? Mega Man X? No, yeah.
Yeah, I mean the Mega Man X series is legendary. Super good. Probably the best style of Mega Man games.
Yep.
I think we talked about this in one of our Mega Man. It's like I don't know. I've played a lot of them. I just don't know if they're for me per se. I can respect what they're doing. I feel like Owen Wilson in Zoolander. It's like I respect it, like it.
Who's my favorite artist? Sting. I don't listen to his music, but the fact he's out there making it, I respect that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel about Mega Man.
And very much like if you're not an action platforming kind of fast twitch shoot run and gun experience kind of game, like you don't like that, I could see you not liking Mega Man, right? Like I'll be honest with you, I don't love RPGs. There's a couple I could get into, but for the most part I'm like, grinding, and like there's different hats you have to wear, and like, oh, one changes your dexterity, and I'm like, what the fuck does dexterity give me in this game? Like, don't give me these bullshit stats that mean nothing. They're like, well, but then you can't craft your shirts, and I'm like, I just don't care. I don't have time. Again, it's great that exists, and I'm happy that people can dive into those worlds. It's not for me, and I just will say that's not for me, right? So I'm not going to run out and champion a lot of kind of RPG, especially more modern ones that get too complicated like that. If they're for you, they're great, right? So it is one of those things. Yeah, if you're not like whatever that level of gameplay that Mega Man is, if that doesn't tickle your fancy, I can see you not loving this game. But for me, I'm just like, just hook it into my veins.
That's fair. That's fair.
Oh, I can slide and jump? Cool.
And for me, it's like an RPG where I can hang out with my characters and like go do homework with them. Damn. Man. Sign me up.
No buenos. Although sometimes I can
do crosswords. Oh, sick.
Speaking of not liking RPGs, I think that's kind of all we're going to say about Mega Man X. We did a whole show on it. It's great. We also did the second ones. I'd go back and play Mega Man X2 and X3. They're also awesome. I don't know about going forward if they get. I think they stopped being good at one point, but we're not there yet. Anyways, speaking of the RPG genre, and I'm like, RPGs. One spot ahead of where Tyson had Final Fantasy VII. I find that on number 5 on my list, I also have Final Fantasy VII. It is one of the best in terms of RPGs. Came out in 1997, so we're looking at 28 years old. They apparently spent millions of dollars in development. There was hundreds of programming, hundreds of designers. They had CGI cutscenes and weird blocky characters, and sometimes in the cutscenes you're a blocky character and you're not a CGI guy, and you're like, what's going on here? But just creating a fully fleshed out, lived in world that you kind of want to just be taken away to is what they did with Final Fantasy VII. It's we talked about it, right, guys? We did a 12-part series on Final Fantasy VII and all of its spin-offs and its iterations, and it's still in our lives, right? When we talk, one of my favorite games I played this year was RE Remake Part 2, and I will, or RE, for Final I'm sorry, I'm looking at RE, that was Final Fantasy VII Remake Part 2. I was like, this is incredible. They did it. They captured a little bit of the magic that is, in my mind, Final Fantasy VII. It is that world. Now, it is cheating. They already have this great world. They have this great characters. Of course, I want to dive into it and spend more time in Midgar running around with everybody, right? So it's kind of a cheat on the developer's part. Like they didn't create something. They just took something that existed and like refined it. But Final Fantasy VII, I think, is just one of the better video game narratives. Right. I was kind of making the point of Last of Us 2. I really like it because it's a challenging narrative. Right. It asks questions. It makes you feel things. It changes your opinions on stuff. Cool, great. But I think in terms of just clean, best, elite narrative, you kind of do have to look at the identity, the story that was told in Final Fantasy VII. It's clean. It's start to finish. I think it's just excellent. Tons of mysteries, tons of things in the game I don't know about. Right? How many times have you played Final Fantasy VII? You ever got the W summon item? No. You're like, I don't even know where that is. Gold chocobos? What? How do you do that? You could listen.
Yeah.
I think I tell a really boring way through a podcast in our retrospective. So there you go. You can find out how to get a gold chocobo. So why do you have Final Fantasy VII on number 6 on your list?
I mean, why don't I? This game is amazing. It's I'm gonna say soundtrack again because so there's some times where it's like I'll hear a song and you're like, damn, I need to go play this game right now. And for me, it's like that opening, like if I hear the opening of Final Fantasy VII, like with the trains and like do 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 like that, I'm sold.
Yep.
I'm installing it and I'm playing it. It is so good. It is I like, I'm a sucker. I really like the original. I played a bit of the remake. It just I cannot get it's to sink my teeth into it and get addicted, whereas I can just like crush the first game. I don't know if it's the pacing because they're trying to like stretch it out and make it this whole big old thing where I'm like, you don't need to do this. You just give me just literally give me the old game with slapped on new stuff. And it's just like yeah, given like you can play remake and rebirth or you can play the original. I'm just going to grab the original every single time. It's amazing. It's addicting. It's so much fun. Like the gameplay, the characters, the story, the pacing, like especially the pacing. Like it just clips along so quickly. Got great soundtracks. You're constantly doing like fun stuff and like sometimes you get sidetracked. But there's always like little fun things you can just end up just spending your time with. Like if you want to get into like the chocobos, if you want to go down the rabbit hole of maxing out all your materials, like you can, or you can just play the game. You can just play the game and have a lot of fun. There's a bunch of like epic parts where like, you know, you find that the giant snake that like will like kill you and chases you across the swamp, and then you see it dead because like Sephiroth obviously owned it, and you're just like, man, this guy is so powerful. And then like when you go to the flashback and he's on your team and he's just like one shot and everything, and taking like no damage.
So
and
you're just explaining how they show a lot instead of tell, right? And one of the marks of a good story is you don't have to explain everything. Hey, that's Sephiroth. He's the badass. You feel it. You get it, right? And and when you see those things in narratives, I bet you appreciate it a lot more than versus like the character coming home and be like, well, that's Sephiroth. He does this. He's a soldier first class. And you're like, yeah, I get it. Okay, yeah. If only there was a way you could have showed me, right? And I think it's just a better way to tell a story, right? So yeah, no, narratively, they just have all kind of the clean, fun points.
Yep, and just a fun game. Like I guess it'd be like it's on my list. So it's my favorite Final Fantasy game. So.
Favorite RPG?
Yes. Yeah. Yes, I guess that's true. That's true.
And you only have two, right? Witcher kind of is an RPG, and then Final Fantasy VII. So.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I look at my honorable mentions. It goes all the way down to 17, and there's a couple on there.
I have it blocked off, but clearly they're not that popular if they didn't make it into your top 10. So. Favorite
too many games, and I wasn't doing the slash nonsense that you were doing.
Well, I mean, I only have like technically Metroidvania. I got that works. I mean, Charge Man. Like if I had to choose, I would just put Charge Man, but he's not really a game; he's a character. So what am I going to do with that?
Yeah, I was more looking at your 2 and 3.
Oh well, I mean, they're kind of. I'll explain it. They're just the same experience, just in different dimensions. Number 5 on your list. Who do you got number 5?
I got Mario 64, but that comes later on in your list.
It does.
So we will talk about it then.
Man, I
Who
don't.
do you got at number 5? Oh, you have Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah. Who do you have at number 4?
So I got Half-Life
Okay, all right.
2. So, shocker, I have another first-person shooter on my list. It's a trend. But yeah, this is awesome. This is a great game. You haven't played it, please do yourself a favor and go out and play it. It's got a really cool world, cool story, great gameplay. It's like really immersive. It's an like super. Every environment. It's weird to say this, but every environment is like very unique and interesting, and has like different levels of like platforming to maybe achieve versus like different environmental things you might want to avoid. Like you come across like an infected town, and there's just like essentially zombies everywhere, and you just got to kill them with a buzzsaw. And you can use like the physics based engine to like grab the like saw blades and like shoot them, then grab them back and shoot them again. And it's just like super addicting. There's a couple like vehicle based levels. Yeah, and it's got like this cool story filled with intrigue, and you're just like trapped in this world where you're just like trying to figure out what the heck is going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's a masterpiece.
Okay.
This is great. This game,
Yeah.
like a lot of these games are just like amazing, but Half-Life 2, I would be remiss to not have it on this list, because it is, ever since I played it, and I think most people, ever since you played like Half-Life 2, you just go like, sure wish there was a Half-Life 3 coming, but it's never coming. It's just not
I
happening.
never played
So
it actually. I'm looking $35. I can get a copy of the Orange Box, my PS3. Finally play Half-Life 2. I'm gonna probably save it, and if we do, when we get to it on this podcast, right, that'll be one of the games we get to before we kind of at least 200. If we decide to kind of call it quits, I think that's one of those things like we owe ourselves. Probably need to get to that one, so I will give it some time at some point and dive into that. Whether it gets a retrospective, yet to be seen. But yeah, no, in terms of just the popularity, the outcry, the fact that it's lasted as long as it has, right, without a sequel. It's funny. Some of those games just kind of end up like, if only there was a sequel to this game. We waited so long, right? Thematically, that kind of ties in actually with my number 4. But just to kind of wrap up my thoughts on Half-Life 2, yeah, one of those games I've waited long enough to not play it. I'm probably going to wait at this point just to play it with Tyson, right? I knew that he kind of liked it, was one of the fans. So I'm looking forward to it. And it's just literally why haven't I played it yet? Well, at a certain point with this podcast, it does limit what I want to play, because I need to give it a full shot, right? I feel like if I play for a couple hours, I'm doing it a disservice, and to get into kind of this world. And also, I don't want to wait for Half-Life 3 for forever. So if that I waited till it came out before I played Half-Life 2, then the wait time would be less for me.
yeah. Don't wait until Half-Life 3.
Oh, well,
Or
you just have to
you'll
play it.
be.
Okay, I guess. It's speaking of long-awaited sequels. Waiting, I think, 7 years for Hollow Knight Silksong to come out just this last couple weeks. I only released for $25. Crazy day. The highly anticipated game. They're like $50. Nah, we'll just normal price. It's fine, guys. It's a video game. We shouldn't be charging $100 for Mario Kart World Tour when all you can do is just drive around. Nintendo, everyone does it, so it's not just them. But I have at number 4 on my list is Hollow Knight. Game that came out, I guess, 7 years ago, so 2018, 17. I don't know if I found it right away. It was kind of after the fact. I heard lots of hype. Oh, you have to play Hollow Knight. It's kind of great. It's this Metroidvania. And I absolutely, when I fell into this world, I fell hard. I have a file, I was telling Tyson, from my original playthrough that's over 40 plus hours. Tons of time, tons of exploration, tons of collecting, tons of doing challenges. I have another game that I think I've played, and I've just gone around and like collected upgrades without doing any of the main story beats, so I can go through and I'm like, if I want to play this again, I'm already kind of like fully powered, or like the most powered you can be before you have to hit the major story beats, right? Or doing all the exploration. It's just an amazing, great, fun, elite, maybe one of the better, maybe the best Metroidvania experiences I've ever had, right? Awesome world, awesome lore, tons to dive into, tons of challenges, and it just kind of seems like it keeps going, right? With the Grim Troop DLC and the God Town or God Tower, Godspeed DLC that came out, God Home. That's what it is, God Home. something like that. DLC, it tons of replayability, and it's still going, right? Awesome, great game, and it just the prevalence and just the amount of time I spend thinking about Hollow Knight and the consumption and just the amount of lore videos, I think that's great. If you give me a world that's tons of mysteries and it's creepy and scary too, like you get to this one part where there's like a spider's nest and you can hear them all going like, ugh, gives you like jeepers. Now you're playing and you're fighting as this cute little knight and like spiders are scary. I think it's just done expertly, right? It's kind of a cool, creepy, awesome, semi-scary experience, and it's almost everything I could want in a video game. So Hollow Knight, I love you. You're great.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't really have a ton of it because it's just like Metroidvanias just aren't my bag.
Yeah.
So I know it's good.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's like same thing like
Well,
with Half-Life 2 and you. It's like, if we ever play it, like if I'm gonna play it, I'll probably just like save it for when we play it for the podcast.
Sure.
And until then, I will it will sit there.
Yeah.
I know it's good. I love that they make these amazing games and they put it at a reasonable price. Like to me, it's like hell yeah. It's like show those big
developers, big teams, big companies.
Just like shows them like actually how to make a proper game that's people enjoy.
Well, and it's the waiting too, right? Like the team came out and said, "Oh, we had so much time making this, or we had so much fun making this game. We weren't killing ourselves. We like making video games. We like doing level design and world building, and so it was fun. We took our time. We didn't have to push these stupid deadlines to try and make money and dump a bunch of stuff. I don't know. It's just all in all, I'm glad that Silksong's come out to good acclaim. People are like, "Oh, it's hard." Patience. You just got to learn patience and practice, right? And it is actually probably it's probably too tough. Like playing through it, I'm like, I love it, but if they toned it down like 20%, I think it would still be a great challenging experience. So it maybe is a little bit far, but again, because it's so cheap, it's $25. Play it for a couple weekends. You're like, okay, I'm done with this. You've had the experience. What other game are you doing? Like remakes. Metal Gear Solid 6 or 3 that just came out. $100 for a remake? What are we doing? In fact, all video games are just remakes.
Or how about like a slapped together flipping Mario Galaxy and Mario Galaxy 2 for like $80. Like, get out of here.
Like pirate games. Absolutely pirate games. You should not be playing games. Cripple studios, except for the good ones. Everyone go buy it.
The joke is that piracy has essentially said that Silksong is a fair price, so just go buy it.
Yeah.
Like, you're getting good value. Just literally go buy it.
And that's what I'd say. Go buy Silksong, even if you're not going to play it. Buy it. Support these good people. Go pirate the Nintendo games. Go pirate the $100 games. In fact, my PS5 library right now.
Don't do it on your Switch because they'll brick your Switch. So,
but
thanks Nintendo, you're always making me so happy.
Yeah. Fundamentally, there's things I'm like, am I a Nintendo fan? But my final point was,
makes it hard some days, man. Makes it hard.
My PS5 library at the moment: RE4, Metal Gear Solid 3, Silent Hill 2, and I'm like, these are all just Resident Evil or Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, and I'm like, these are just games I played when I was a kid that are just new. Like, make something, So, Hollow Knight, you're great, awesome. Let's get into our top 3. We're an hour into the podcast, top 3, that's okay. At one point, we were like 30 minutes in, and we were on like 0.9. And I was like, oh my god, we're gonna do like 3 hours today. So
yeah, it's all good. I think we're through the bulk of it.
Yes, Ed Tyson did make a good point. He called me out. Basically, we have almost the exact same top 3 or so, but I did slash my way into some things. So he did call me out on it. I hear you.
That's okay.
Your honorable mention.
You had slashes. I had 7 honorable mentions.
I'm not going to make fun of you. I'm not going to beat you because I did the same thing. I just do it in a different manner. So that is totally fair. But that gives us our let's do top 1, 2. I don't know how we want to do this based on what we have.
Yeah. I'll say my 3, and then you can say your 3. We'll talk about one of your 3, and then we'll save the other one for another. Anyways, so my number 3 is Link to the Past.
I also have Link to the Past number 3 with a slash. Okay.
Yeah, with the slash. And what's your slash? You can say it.
Ocarina of Time.
Okay, so Link to the Past. What haven't we said about this game? We've talked about it so
Yeah.
much. I know it's like the best 2D Zelda game of all time, with an amazing soundtrack, incredible worlds to explore, tight
Yep.
gameplay mechanics, incredible controls,
Awesome.
innovative characters,
Awesome
great
worlds.
bosses,
The best
cool
of a genre.
items.
Right. I'm saying the last
Yeah,
one. I love Metroidvania is one of my favorite genres. Hollow Knight, I think, is the best Metroidvania I played. A Link to the Past. I love Zelda games, which is actually its own genre just in itself. And I think A Link to the Past might be one of the finer examples, or maybe the best example of Zelda games, right? So it's kind of 2D Zelda games. A Link to the Past, you were one of the first, and I think you're the best. I don't think we've ever overpassed you. We've never beat you. They just did a phenomenal, absolutely phenomenal, incredible job world building, creating this rich tapestry for other games to kind of emulate, right? And A Link to the Past, you're amazing.
absolutely, absolutely. But yeah, cool world, great story. I think this was the game that like started the like, oh, video games can be more than just like run right.
Yeah.
Like it had its whole like world to explore, and it like just got those creative juices flowing. So for me, it just like always holds a big piece of my heart. I know when I get to like Kakariko Village or whatever, I'm just like, home. This is where I live. This is my life. It's amazing. I love it so much. But I have Ocarina of Time higher up on my
Yes.
list. Do you
Yeah.
have anything else to say on Link to the Past?
No, just in terms of the Zelda genre, again, I think is great. It's one of my favorite video game genres, and no, I play it every single year
Agreed.
for a reason, because I want to return to it. When I do return to a Link, in fact, you know what? Sometimes I play it twice a year because I just want to play a Link to the Past. So like, I just want to have a fun, classic, great experience that I know start to finish I'm gonna love, right? And I just can't get enough of this game, and my want and desire to return to it and keep playing it all these years later, even though we have all these other games. I'm just like, no, it's just the best. It is. It's just, I think it's just the cleanest. It's the greatest. It's the, they didn't make the worlds too big, right? They didn't have like a locking key, like, oh, you can't come over here because you don't have the spinning disc, and that locks half the map for some reason. Okay,
Yes.
sure,
Yes.
guess that makes sense. The whatever, right? Yeah. So that is why that's at number 3. I have it paired with Ocarina of Time, and we'll get to that when it is time. That leaves number 2. What do you have at number 2?
I got Super Mario World.
What the fuck? I don't have that game on my list. What happened?
Yeah, that's what I was like. That's why I was like staring at your number two, being like,
Huh.
are you just putting your number two slash your other one in place of this game? I'm like, I don't know. I'm putting Super Mario World on here. Like this
Yeah.
game, damn. This was my childhood right here. Because we didn't have Link to the Past.
Yes, which is
We
interesting, right? That we both kind of like, oh no, it's great. Even though, yeah, neither of us are like, oh, we never owned that one. Huh.
Yes. So when we had a go-to game, it was Super Mario World. Had two player. I think I still remember. I was a young kid. I struggled with video games. I didn't really have the dexterity, and I struggled. So I couldn't beat the harder levels. But what I could do is I could beat that first level to the right. As soon as you started, I could that level to the right. It's the easiest level in the game. I could beat it. So I just kept replaying it, and I would just farm health or lives. And what we would do is, I think we were playing two player, is I would farm lives and then I would give them to you so you could play the harder levels. And I would just keep practicing that first level again and again and again. And every so often I'd get like, once you start getting low on health, I just transfer a bunch to you so we could keep playing it. But it was kind of like that was a vivid memory for me growing up, and it was just like eventually I got the confidence like, okay, well maybe I could tackle the second level and then the third, and then I could beat the castle, and it was just like it has just a special point in my life that it taught me what video games are, and it taught me to persevere.
Okay.
So I will always love Super Mario World, and now every so often I just like put it on and be like, how fast can I speed run this? Like I know the route, I just gotta do it. So it's I'm pretty slow. I'm not gonna lie. I'm
Yeah.
not super quick about it, but
Okay.
it's a great time.
Sure. So a game, Super Mario World, I went back to multiple times and played. It was the first video game I ever owned. Right. It was my one of my birthday presents I got when I was a kid. I wanted a Nintendo. Really wanted Nintendo. Wanted to play Mario. They got me a Super Nintendo Mario World, and I was like, "Damn you, parents!" But as soon I was like, "Man, this is great. Thank you, parents. It's awesome." I played the hell of it ever since I could walk. Well, probably I could walk before I owned this. I think if you looked at the time, you'd be like, "You're gonna walk when you're 6? This guy's a slow learner." But no, absolutely love it. It's great. It's one of those games that kind of helped me get into the internet, right? In university, and I'm seeing like Kaizo Mario. Oh man, the amount of Kaizo Marios, and I was like, oh, it looks like Mario World. I love Mario World. Only be able to get back in to play it later on. All the systems that own it, I own it probably digitally on all my 3DSs and old Wii's and Wii U's, right? I just couldn't get enough of this game. Needed it. It was kind of my creature comfort. At number 2, it was sitting there. It was sitting next to Mario 64, and the reason I did kind of these pairings is because I look at Mario as platforming, right? Super Mario World is kind of the elite, the perfection, the best version of 2D platforming, in my opinion, in Mario, and Mario 64 is the ultimate 3D. It was the first attempt at making a video game. God damn, they did it well. Oh, for 96, you created a whole genre. You showed the world how 3D platforming and world making should exist. It's just an incredible feat of game making. Hence why it's like higher up on my list, right? The Mario 64, anyways. And thinking about it, I did make a change to. I think Mario Maker 2 is the best 2D Mario game. And I think one of the reasons that we're not getting more Mario games, although we've got Mario Wonder, which not very good compared to what they could have been. It was very bland, just colorful. They're like, look, here's colors, kids, and noises. Wow, we're so easy to entertain. But Mario Maker 2, you can make everything in this game. You can make Super Mario World if you wanted. So in fact, Super Mario World exists inside Mario Maker 2. See, you knew there was a shizzle coming here. But just in terms of infinity, being able to share Mario Worlds with your friends, make your own. Just the freedom and the exhilaration of getting to play Mario games. I pulled up my Mario Maker 2 game at one point. I went and I built a whole little world, and I have a little map, and you can go through my 6 stages and play through all my little levels that I created, and they all have themes, and they all kind of work together. And I'm like, I put a lot of thought and energy into this game, and I know at some other point in my life, maybe if I was younger, had a lot more free time, I would spend all my time making Mario levels, right? It would be absolutely fun. There's tons of challenges. There's difficult levels. There's easy levels. There's just silly levels. There's kooky levels. Everything you want and more is in Mario Maker 2. Therefore, I think that's one of my favorite games of all time, because I could just play infinite 2D Mario if I wanted. Super Mario World, I love the aesthetic. I could just make Mario World games all day. I could make it however I want, and I think that's why I had that higher up on my list. But I echo everything. I love Super Mario World. I think it's the best. But if you could get the best plus other creative inputs, that's why I think Mario Maker 2 is higher up on my list. And then, yeah, Mario 64, Tyson has it at 5. I have it at 2. It's just an incredibly awesome, clean experience. They didn't know what they were doing when they were making 3D worlds, but they basically made the template of how 3D worlds should work right off the bat, and kudos. Could have been horrible. We've seen tons of examples not work, and sometimes it doesn't work till this day. There's games out there that are broken, and you're like, you didn't understand how to make this work. That's interesting. But Nintendo somehow nailed it out of the park, and Mario 64, it's one of those games as I've returned to, I appreciate it more and more every time I play it. You know, all the abilities you have, just the freedom that they gave you in this randomly. They didn't know, right? But that is why it is my number 2. So Mario, kind of pseudo Super Mario World inclusion, but I got Infinite Mario as well, so it's pretty exciting. Is that a fair enough reason for the slash, or am I just being?
No, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, it's like obviously Mario Maker 2, legendary. That one, it was the toolkit. It was one of those things where you're like, man, why don't they do this for other things?
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Like, I think it was very, it's very apt to put it on here, because I mean, this is the toolkit that everybody, you can just play and play and play for forever, and you can just make forever Mario. which is like amazing.
Yeah.
Like, please give me this. This is a. I like I said, I wish that they would have done this for. I wish they would have done this for other things.
Yeah,
So
right.
that's all I'll say.
I know, and it's one of those things. I'm like, man, it's such. I think it's an amazing like Mario Maker 2. If you haven't played it, go buy it. You're gonna be like, oh, this is lots of fun, isn't this? This is great. You make whatever power ups, bosses. Oh, here's a super Bowser. Here's 5 Bowsers stacked on top of each other. But you have a car that shoots bazookas. So good luck, Bowsers. Yeah, just kind of fun, silly to play. So that is why it's there. I forgot why I was talking. What your point was.
I'm just saying it's the greatest. It's a great toolkit. Wish we had it for other things.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yes, other things. Okay, yeah. Versus, yeah, sorry. Everyone is kind of like, why don't we have it for Metroid and Zelda? I think it's because they don't want to give us that power. So they're like, no, we still can make these games and you guys will buy them. Not yet. Mario, though, maybe it's oversaturated. So, yeah, okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in terms of hyped games too, in the last little while, games that have come out that I was like, man, I have to get my inboxed copy. I've got like the collector's box that came out for Mario Maker on the Wii U. I was like super in day one, and having lots of fun, and I've never looked back, right? And it's just, for some reason, it's better on the Switch, because the Switch is just a better Wii U. So that is my list. Let's do a recap, 10 to 2, and then we'll get into our top games.
Second one, your second slash, Mario 64?
Yeah, I said it was a great 3D platformer. They did it like...
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't mention it because I was like, we were just talking about Mario Maker.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, Mario 64. The game that was one of the first 3D platform or 3D adventure platformers, and it did it right. And it gave everybody the blueprint to actually sort it. So without this game, we probably have jank controls for way too long.
God. Well, I think going back and returning and playing, and I'm like, I could jump off this wall, and it's tight here. Like, the control settings still just feel good. Sometimes, like, new games sometimes are broken. Like, the run animations don't work and stuff. So, no, the fact they nailed it here, and I think it can be challenging, right? It might take you a while to get all 120 stars. There's a couple red coins, and they're like, ugh, and TikTok clock. Oh, baby, TikTok clock is a thing, but... If you play it on the N64 Online, I'm pretty sure you get save states, so you could really clean up a lot of the runbacks on those.
Yep. So let's give a quick run back.
Yeah.
Or run through.
Sure. So at number 10, I have the always controversial Last of Us 2. Then at number 9, I got Pokemon Gold and Silver. 8 is Symphony of the Night / Super Metroid, or the Castle Metroidvania kind of series. Number 7 is the RE remake. Number 6 is Mega Man X / Chargeman, specifically from Mega Man 5, but I just can't include one boss. That's nonsense. Number 5, I had Final Fantasy 7 for Hollow Knight. Number 3 was A Link to the Past / Ocarina of Time. Number 2 is Mario Maker 2 / Mario 64. And my 1 is yet to be revealed. Tyson, what does your list look like?
Okay. Dang. Okay, I cheated. So I'll give my honorable mentions. So down in 17, not 20, because I didn't want to go that far. 17 was Persona 5. Great game.
Okay.
16, Dark Souls. 15, Donkey Kong Country. 14, KOTOR. 13, Metal Gear Solid 3. 12, BioShock. 11, Halo. 10, Witcher 3, 9, Resident Evil 4, 8, Halo 2, 7, Symphony of the Night, 6, Final Fantasy 7, 5, Mario 64, 4, Half-Life 2, 3, Link to the Past, 2, Super Mario World, and it only leaves mine number 1, as well as your number 1.
Okay, let's pull that Band-Aid off, Tyson. Who do you have at number 1?
If you're paying attention, you did the math. It's Ocarina of Time.
Nice.
Of course it is. Yeah, this was maybe it's a little like biased because I'm currently getting into it. I'm really I went down a rabbit hole again. You play the opening of a video game for me, and sometimes it just hits, and I'm just like, yeah, okay, I get it. I'm gonna play this right now, and let's like go and like get it all set up. It is excellent. Okay. Just that like Deloom here and like Epona Run. I still have all those fond memories of just like trying to find out how do you get Epona? How do you do this? How do you do that? And I just have still so many good memories of this game. It's legendary. It has a great story, has cool twists, a great world to explore. It feels rewarding to play. You're constantly just like discovering new things. It is like the perfect game. If somebody has never played a video game before, I tend to lead them to this, and I go
Okay.
like play this.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it's you're gonna get basically everything you need to do. Um, but yeah, it's a good one.
Okay.
It's a good one.
Yes.
I really love it. So
Solid. Yeah, Ocarina of Time was number 3. Kind of tied with A Link to the Past, because when I was trying to just break down the nitty gritty and like, I think it is one of the best, cleanest video games ever created, right? Again, one of the first foray into 3D gaming, and Nintendo absolutely just crushed it back in 98. So 2 years after Mario 64 came out, they have just this landmark achievement, which was lots of people's greatest games of all time, and still is, apparently, right? Or highly regarded. And I look at it as kind of just the same, a different side of the same coin with A Link to the Past, right? Where we have kind of, this is the formula. This is the story we want to tell. This is the experience. You kind of go through the world and you have to save the princess and fight and save Hyrule. And it's just kind of, one is the elite version in 2D, and one is this would look great in 3D. I don't know if any game really beat this, surpassed this. They gave you different experiences, but I think they always kind of were fumbling for a way to kind of make a better experience. And maybe there's a kid out there who's really into Breath of the Wild and loves Tears of the Kingdom and plays those games. And he's like, man, it's like Infinite Zelda. You can do whatever. You're not restricted. You can't just, have to go to this fire temple next. You can do whatever you'd like. I could see that existing in that timeline, but it did literally take until Breath of the Wild before I think a game even entered the arena that stood up and could hang with Ocarina of Time, right? If you were telling me about best Zelda games, now I don't have free time. Lots of stuff has happened in the last little while since, Breath of the Wild or Tears of the Kingdom have kind of been released, so I haven't got to spend lots of times. I beat both of them. I played a couple times, right? So stupid breakable weapons. If I could just have a sword that never broke, but the fact my sword breaks, I hate it. And then you have nothing, and I'm like, my master sword never broke, and I killed everybody. Stupid. That mechanic is just so bad. Anyways, Ocarina of Time, though, I think is just super elite, holds up. Narratively, it's not there. In terms of some of the other video game narratives and kind of what's going on, there's a lot. That's a good story, but it's kind of just, again, A Link to the Past. Give or take, right? Changing a couple words here and there, right? And how it's presented. But in terms of overall gameplay, replayability, the amount of times I've played Ocarina of Time, crazy. So, I love that it's your number 1. And I think if you look back at our tier list, right, and kind of that's what it came down to, is looking at our tiers list that we're probably going to do at the end of the year again, kind of rank everything. There is a pretty solid, arguably best games ever on the top of that list, which I think include Ocarina of Time, Super Mario World, Link to the Past, probably Final Fantasy VII for both of us, and Donkey Kong Country 2. I saw that and I was like, oh yeah, that's a okay, well, maybe could have got on my list somehow. But I think with those games just being up there, I think everyone should know that we both love them and endear them. But it's just a little bit further down on my list for what was an Infinite. You see, Mario Maker 2 is Infinite, so more replayability with Infinity.
True.
Yeah, and replayability was actually kind of a big part of my list when I was making it, so maybe we'll keep that in mind for the next 30 seconds here. So anything else on Ocarina of Time before we get to my number 1?
No, hop into it.
All right, guys. So my number 1 game of all time is the Ocarina of Time randomizer. In fact, I just have randomizers in general. So a couple years ago, they started pumping out these things called randomizers. So teams would go in, unlock all the items, create sequences, and kind of disperse the items throughout the game. So the big ones I'm thinking of are Link to the Past, the Super Metroid, the Ocarina of Times. I've even seen Wind Waker, although I think Wind Waker, just because of the game, is a little less fun to play and there's too much exploration. I think it would really wear on you to try and find every single item in that game. But in terms of games that I'm familiar with that I know are clean experiences, Ocarina of Time Randomizer is just, you're in the Ocarina of Time world, Now all the items are scattered. Oh, maybe you don't know where the ocarina is. Maybe you don't know where this sequence is. So it's kind of out of order. It really challenges your understanding. How well do you know the lock and key system of the specific games? And to me, that's just infinite replayability. You can change a seed, you can reload it. It's the same game, but it's a different sequence, and it just adds such a fresh, new, fun experience to these games that I absolutely just love and adore, right? They're on my list, guys. You see them. The Super Metroids, Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time. Give me a randomized version of those. That is my bread and butter. I love that. I love being able to jump into it and not know exactly where to go. Not just, okay, this I got to run to this chest next and do this sequence, right? It breaks a sequence. It changes things. All of a sudden, you randomly have bombs. You start out with bombs, and you're like, oh, I could start out and like, where can I go? Where can you go with just bombs and right? It just adds such I think, a different level of diversity to all are these games that I basically do love. So that just that whole community of anyone that made a randomizer, I love you. You're awesome. You're great. I made Tyson play a couple on this podcast because I just can't get enough of them. They're phenomenal. I think I have maybe 2 or 3 random seeds of Ocarina of Time actually on my N64 kind of pirated cart. So if I wanted, I could just fire that bad boy up after this and play through a fun new experience where I don't know where I'm going. So randomizers. See, it was a Scheisels list all this time. This whole thing, top 10 lists, just made up. Just like a Scheisel. I love Scheisling. Love changing the rules on something, and you saw it. So, randomizer, that's why you're number 1 in my heart.
Yeah, and it makes sense. I know you love yourself some randomizers to a point where, like I said, you made me play one for a couple actually.
Yeah, I'm like, let's play a Link to the Past and Super Metroid mixed together. Because that's fun.
Yeah.
Oh, you get the spring shoes out of the chest in Link's house? Now what are you going to do, huh? What do you do with your spring shoes? And you're like, I don't...
Yeah.
What?
Well, and see, for like the Link to the Past, like, that's doable. But Metroid, I'm like, I don't know this game enough to do this to myself. But if you like master the game and you like that infinite replayability, give her. Randomizers, very cool little thing that kind of came out of the blue recently, recent-ish. I don't know. I'm not an expert or a historian on randomizer like when it came about, but cool that they did it. It shows just like how deep the community can be. So yeah, very cool.
Well, you did say recent, so I'm just going to check this out just to say Podtendo random. 2019. So we played one 6 years ago, and it was old at that point. So
Well, there you
go. Yeah. Okay. Sweet. Cool. Yeah. So that is our top 10 video game list. Kind of you saw it coming. Again, if you would have went to our tiers list, if you were that elite, and you're like, I wonder what the list could be. That's where I started. I looked at our tiers list because I'm like, well, I should probably see what we consider to be the best games. And see if they are my favorite games before I make a list. And I'm like, I didn't include any of that, guys. Oops, my bad. Now, again, it wasn't just I picked those and had to make them. I genuinely do believe that the way they rank, and I kind of talked about them today in terms of favorite playability. That's probably how they rank them. Pretty close. So
I was gonna say, I'm like, what's even on our tiers list?
I mean, essentially the games that we talked about.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Tier maker. Tier.
Okay, so we got Link to the Past, Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, Mario World, Super Metroid, Castlevania, Mario 64, Donkey Kong Country, Super Mario 3, Mega Man X, Final Fantasy 7, Resident Evil Remake, and we put Twin Snakes up there for some reason.
I mean,
with I think good reason.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and like a required.
I think I did okay. I was gonna say, I'm like, I think compared to what I did. Yeah. Okay.
1, 2. Yeah. So that I don't think I copy and pasted exactly. I went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So okay. Huh.
Yeah.
Sweet. Cool. Well, there you go. So at least my list is consistent across the internet. So good times. Good old
tiers more or less. And I didn't even look at it. So it's like, proud of us.
Yep. Good job. Good job by us. But that wraps up, like I said, our top 10 games, our lists for the year. So we did 10 of these. Great little side projects. And that's it. A couple horror games, Halloween special, month of Mario. And then I'm not sure what we're probably like a Christmas special, something easy, and then like a game for Christmas. So that's kind of what you're getting the rest of the year from us. And can't wait. Good times. Already playing my scary spooky games. So hopefully you guys are also playing some scary spooky stuff and ready for next month.
Yeah, should be a good time.
Yeah, cool. Sweet. So that I think we're going to wrap up, say bye, and see you guys. We're playing a scary game.
Yes, should be a good time.
Okay. Sweet. So then, bye.
See you, everybody.